What's up, gamers? This is That PlayStation Gamer. I am just getting over a sickness, so sorry if I sound a little congested or I just sound off in general in this video. Like I said, I'm just getting over it. I literally slept for like a whole day. No exaggeration in the slightest. I think I left the bed once, and that was to get something that I was like, okay, it'll shut my stomach up for a couple minutes. And uh, I wake up this morning. I was like, okay, let's make my cup of coffee, and I find out Sony has essentially won their lawsuit against Tencent. Now, for the record, what's the story here? Basically, Tencent was in active development of a game that was heavily inspired by Horizon. So apparently, at some point, they went to Sony and asked for like, hey, can we use the Horizon IP, for this? Because obviously they kind of built the game with Horizon in mind. And apparently they also want to use the Last of Us IP as well. But I heard that was actually supposed to be more of a mobile game. And Sony was like, yeah, no, we're good on that. And then, of course, Tencent thinking like, oh, well, we don't need your permission really, because technically this isn't a Horizon game. But they launched this game. I think it was like an early access. I'm not 100% sure on that. But basically, they launched this game. Sony catches wind of it, and it's like, hey, question: why is this? Why does this look like Horizon? And basically, they've gone to court, and now, from what it sounds like this morning, they've reached a deal. That game has been removed from Steam Store. It sounds like it's been removed from all storefronts that it was on, and Sony essentially won. And listen, if it weren't for the fact that we knew Sony was approached using the Horizon IP by the same developers, the same publisher, I normally would be against this. I would normally be against Sony winning, but it's clear as day that this developer and publisher knew, either had the suspicion Sony was not going to say yes, or more importantly, just didn't care and thought they could slip by not using Horizon exactly. It's like, oh, but if you look at the game, you can see clear as day that they obviously were heavily inspired by Horizon, to the point that they actually had to remove some promotional images because they weirdly mirrored Horizon Forbidden West or Zero Dawn like 1-to-1. And I was like, okay, I get it, this was more of a survival game, but you made it very clearly with the idea of being a Horizon game originally. You were told no, and then you're like, well, fuck it, we'll just not use the Horizon IP directly, and we'll just be like heavily inspired by. And it's like, that's why I kind of get bothered by these kind of I want to say shameless ripoffs, because obviously, I'm a big fan of fucking Power World, but this is like if you found out Pocket Pair went to Pokemon Company and said, hey, we want to use your IP. Pokemon Company said no politely, whatever. And they said, well, fuck you, we're still going to make it anyway. And we're going to void it by not using your IP directly. And it's like, I don't know what to say, man. This is a situation where it's like, I wish I wasn't on the Sony side, because I want, obviously I want more games out there for people. And obviously, games are going to be influential games like Horizon, The Last of Us, God of War, so on and so forth. They're going to inspire some people out there. But it's just the fact that they asked for permission and they were told no, and they still did it. It was like, okay, that put me on Sony's side, because clearly you didn't care. It almost seems like it was a formality to you guys at this point. Like, you guys were going to try to slip by the radar, and you thought no one was going to know. So, with all that said, this is That PlayStation Gamer signing out. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and all that YouTube R&BS. Until next time, peace.